What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you all doing well. Get up in here, get up in here. Y'all know what we gotta do. I gotta go and put this on the Facebook real quick. Give me a few seconds here. Don't forget to like the page. Like this video right now. If you love hip hop, don't forget to share. Go ahead and share this video to your friends. Don't forget to check out all of our playlists. Bars of the Titans playlist, Freestyle Friday playlist. All right, give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Go to Facebook really quick. Hold up. Hold on, I'm coming. Give me a second. Like the page real quick, y'all. Like the page real quick. All right, here we go. All right, we on Facebook. We good. All right, man. How we doing tonight? How everybody doing tonight? Y'all get up in here, man. We're gonna have a good talk tonight, y'all. I see Blocker Time is here. Blocker, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. I see Eric Stone is in the building. Eric Stone, salute. Thanks for joining the stream, y'all. Shout out to the homegirl, Diamond. We know you out there, Diamond. What's good? Hope everything is going good on your end. Let's get up into it today, man. Today we're gonna be talking about. There's a few things that's bothering me this last week, y'all. There's so much stuff going on in the industry right now. There's a few things that's bothering me. Jay Books is in the building. Jay Books, thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you. Don't forget to get back to them books, all right? Don't be up on this stream here typing, and don't forget your homework, your schoolwork. Let's get up into it, man. There's a few things that's been bothering me these last few weeks. And there's a lot of stuff going on. We see what's going on with the game. That's crazy what the game said. Anyway, we're going to talk about that today if you haven't heard about that. We're also going to talk about Kanye West. He's releasing his new album, Donda Part 2. And there's a few things he's doing to increase revenue stream on his end. But as a consumer, on our end, as a consumer, is that good for us as the people that are purchasing the music and purchasing albums that are coming out? We're going to talk about that today. Jason's in the building. Jason, thanks for joining the stream. Jason is here. And we're also going to talk about hip-hop music, rap music. Ever since we started having these streaming services, these titles, Spotify, Apple Music, a lot of artists are releasing more music at a faster pace. Today we're going to talk about, is that a good thing for the consumer? I'm not talking about the artist. We're going to talk about the artist as well. Is that a good thing for the consumer? Okay, artists are putting out songs, some putting out songs every week. I've seen some guys putting out songs every few months. There's some artists putting out albums. Papoose did in 2021, Papoose dropped an album, I think it was like 9 or 7 tracks each. But Papoose was releasing an album every single month for the month of 2021. Okay, so we're going to talk about that tonight. Let me hit the chat real quick. I see Big Sugar in the building. Big Sugar, what's good? Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for coming through. And everybody in the chat, I want to thank you all for always coming through and hitting up our community page and leaving response whenever we put something up on the community page. All right, so we appreciate that. I see Jason got a comment. Jason said, what up, 16? It's our birthday month. That's right, Pisces in the building. We here. March, Pisces, and Aries connection from New York to Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Let's get it. Shout out to the homie Jason. Thanks for coming through. Yes, it is Pisces season, y'all. Y'all better bow down to us, man. Jay Boogie says, class is over. All work is done. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Blocker Tom said, my birthday is in 2 weeks. Blocker birthday coming up too. Big Sugar also says, what up, yo? Big Sugar, what's up? What's good? We see Little Cat. Little Cat, thanks for coming through. Little Cat got a comment. Little Cat says Mickey Fax putting out a song a month. So let's start with that, Little Cat. Let's start right there. Let's start right there, y'all. Recently, the new Conway the Machine album came out, right? I'm going to go into title right now. I'm going to go into title. I'm going to type in Conway, right? So Conway just released an album. The name of the album is God Don't Make Mistakes. I listened to the album, listened to it a few times, bumped it a few times, and I felt very underwhelmed by the album. I've seen some people comment on that album. I saw Triborough Gigolo says that's his favorite album so far for this year. I seen Jason also commented on Facebook how amazing the album is. Shout out to Charlie. I see Charlie in the building. Charlie, thanks for coming through. So yeah, so Jason and I seen Triborough said how much they enjoy this album. I listened to this album and it felt very depressing. And we here, the guys, Old Bugs side, we have a group chat and we were corresponding throughout the group chat. And you know, we talk about songs and albums, brand new music and stuff. And I felt like the album, the vibe, I got what Conway was going for. He was going for a more personalized vibe, putting stuff in his life into the music, being a little bit more open with his fans. So I kind of got where he was going with the album, but the album just felt very depressing to listen to. The beat selection was very low tempo beat selection. The beat selection, in my opinion, wasn't that great. There were some good bars on there. I even see someone online compare. They asked a question. They asked the question, is Conway better than J. Cole? No, he's not better than J. Cole. But I was very unimpressed with the album. And I started thinking like, I've been hearing a lot of Conway recently. So I went back and I was looking through Conway's albums, and he dropped a lot of mixtapes. So this album, 2022, he dropped an album, La Marquita, in 2021. In 2020, he had From Kings to a God. He also had in 2020, he had the Lulu album, and again, they had a bunch of singles, group albums, and it just feels like it's just too much music. And I need y'all to hit the comments, as we always do. Hit the comments. I want to hear what you guys got to say about this. Do you feel like artists are releasing too much music too soon? Okay, back in the 80s, back in the 70s, 80s, back in the 90s, most artists were releasing one album per year. All right, the way they used to do it, they would put the album together. They would put out a single first, let the single bubble a little bit. Then they'll probably they'll drop the album. They might drop a couple singles. Then they'll drop the album, and then they usually go on tour and start generating money from that album. Do you think that artists need to go back to that? Do you think that artists should release one album per year? Release a single, release two, release 3 singles within the year. Drop one album per year. Once the album's out, you can even start doing your merch before. Because here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Album sales is not everything. And a lot of artists will tell you that. Getting paid off of the album today is not really the biggest thing for artists. Most artists, they do walkthroughs. They get a couple thousand from walkthroughs. They do merch. Artists make a big chunk on merch. And then a lot of artists too, they get a big chunk off of doing touring. Some of them, they're going to get their songs go in movies, stuff like that. So there's other ways to generate big revenue. So do y'all think, hit the comments down below, do you think, is it too much music coming out too soon? Do you like all of this music that's coming out? If you're someone that likes all this music that's coming out so regularly, I need you to hit the comment as well. Let me hear what you got to say. I'm going to jump in the comments. I'm going to see what y'all talking about. We got a bunch of y'all in here tonight. Thanks for coming through. Eric Stone is here. Blocker is here. Jayla's here. Jason's here. Big Sugar's here. Little Cat is here. Charlie is here. Drop the comments down below, man. Let me read some comments. Blocker said he's ready for the Buster Rounds versus. We're not going to see that for a while, Blocker. You're going to have to wait for that. Because remember, usually when they do the verses, whenever verses come out, they usually wait at least 1 to 2 months before the next verses comes out. Usually, whenever a verses come out, go back and look. Go back and look at the calendars. Whenever verses gets dropped, they usually let those artists get some revenue from the hype from the verses. And usually the next verses comes about 2 months later. So Valentine's Day was 14th, verses was on the 15th. We got to look for at least after the 15th of March or somewhere in April, we might see the next verses. So shout out to Buster, verses coming soon. Blocker says, finally Kanye West dropped the Donda 2 album. Jason says, Blocker, whenever it's ready, it's going to be announced. Let 16 talk about what's on his mind on his chat. Thank you very much, Jason. Blocker, Jason said, Blocker, when I'm looking at the caption now. So thank you for that, yo. Drop the comments in there, man. Let me know what you guys think about music coming out now. Do you guys enjoy all of this music that is being put out? Do you guys think too much music is being put out? That's how I kind of feel about that right now. Let's jump into some other stuff, man. Let's jump into the game, y'all. Let's talk about the game. Listen, y'all. When I read that story, I was like, nah, he didn't say that. I was like, nah, he didn't. Game didn't say that. And then I saw the clip. I saw the clip from Drink Champs. I saw the Drink Champs clip. I don't think the episode came out yet, though. I tried looking for the episode, but I couldn't find the episode. And I think they put out the clip. So I saw the clip. So if you don't know what's going on with the game, this is what the game said. This is a piece of the clip. This is the game said, it's crazy that Ye, which is Kanye West, did more for me in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre did for my whole career. I do not understand that at all. And let me just say this, yo. Let me just say this. Sometimes when you listen to a clip, you may not get the whole context of what the person was saying. So this is why I went online. I tried to find the episode, but I don't think the episode is out yet. I couldn't find it. Sometimes when people take a clip from a statement, it might be misconstrued some way. So I'm kind of pumping my brakes, waiting to see exactly what was said, how it was said, and how he put everything into that sentence. But from what he said, Kanye West has did more for him in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre has did. Listen, that is so blasphemous. I can't tell you how disgusting of a statement that is. Listen, I know. The game has about 12, maybe 13, 14 albums. The game has a lot of albums. The game has been out since early 2000s, G-Unit when he came out, right? So the game has a lot of music out there that he's put out. The game thinks he's the king of the West Coast, right? He thinks he's the man. The game thinks he's the man in the West Coast. Let's just put it that way. Listen, game. Listen. There is no better album. Well, maybe the second album. There's no better album than your first album, my man. Stop it. Hold on. Let me go into title. Hold on. Let me go into title. Because I know some of y'all saying, nah, Onslaught, the game got some classic album. Let's go into the game. Let's go into the game's discography. Okay? Let's go into the game discography, right? So the game's first album. Oh gosh, man. The documentary, right? Documentary. And then Doctor's Advocate, right? First two albums, right? I dare any one of you in the chat right now, post in the chat a better album than Documentary or Doctor's Advocate from the game's discography. Anybody, put it in the chat. I dare you tell me an album that is better. Let me go over to Wikipedia. Hold up. Yo, the game is disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Okay, so Documentary came out in 2005. Doctor's Advocate came out in 2006. All right, Documentary's producer 50, Dr. Dre was on there, right? We all know that, right? Doctor's Advocate, again, producers on there. Let's go producers. Game, executive producer, Swiss Beats, will.i.am, Scott Storch, Just Blaze. So a lot of other big name producers on there, right? And then he dropped the third album, he dropped LAX, right? And again, LAX, Dre wasn't on LAX, right? Dre was already gone at that time. What album in Game's catalog, what album is better than his first album? Whenever you talk about the game, whenever you listen to the game music, and I saw Jason posted this on Facebook and on Instagram as well. This is facts. Whenever you listen to the game's music, he always mentions Dr. Dre. I know sometimes y'all be say, yo, Onslaught, you tripping, you wilding. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to the game's music. Every single album he mentions Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre put you on the map. Well, Shady Aftermath, G-Unit came after, but Dr. Dre put you on the map, my man. I want to know how y'all feel about this, man. Hit the comments, yo. I think this is so disrespectful of the game. This is one of the most disrespectful comments I've seen. But again, I'm waiting for the full interview to see how the conversation went. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about this one. Let me jump in the comments. I see Iman is here. Iman, thanks for joining the stream. Iman said Jesus Peace was a good album. Jesus Peace, okay. Let me see when Jesus Peace came out. Hold up. When was the Jesus Peace album? I like Red. The Red album was a nice album. Okay, Jesus Peace came out in 2012. I think I did listen to Jesus Peace. I did listen to that. That was an okay album. Okay, but I'm not talking about okay, Iman. I want to know what album is better than his first album. Drop the comments in there. Thanks for that, Iman. Let me hit some comments. I see y'all in there. Let me go back up. Iman says, I could become a millionaire if sung my ABCs on a drill track. Listen, anybody can become a millionaire these days. You just need that one hot beat, man, and you good. I see Jason got a comment. Jason says, the reason why is because the more music that's out, the more money gets earned through streams. I'm gonna talk about that right now, Jason. I want to get into that too. That's on my notes. Let me finish your comment first. I'm glad you brought that. Let me finish this comment first. This is Jason's comment. The reason why is because the more music that's out, the more money gets earned through streams. It goes from cents to dollars. The more it's generated. That's why it's so much music. I'm glad you brought that up. This is my opinion on this. Okay. Thanks for that comment, Jason. This is my opinion. And I'm going to ask a question because I don't know the answer to this. And Jason has a great point. I thought the same thing. Here's my question for you guys. Take a look at J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. I mean, I'm going to use J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar as the status quo here, right? And I'm going to use Jim Jones and Conway as the other side, right? If you look at J. Cole and you look at guys like Kendrick, they don't put out music all the time, right? J. Cole hasn't released a big album since, I think, K.O.D. I think that was his last album. That was some years ago. And Kendrick, same thing, all right? But here's the thing about those two artists. People still bump those few albums that they put out, those last few albums. So even though J. Cole put some singles out recently, but even though J. Cole don't put out a lot of music every single year or throughout the year, his name is still bubbling. People are still bumping his music. I'm going to switch to Conway for a second. I'm going to switch to Conway and Jim Jones for a second. I like Conway. I like Jim Jones bumping their music. Conway has been giving us a lot of music. Like in the last 2-3 years, when Griselda started to pop, they've been dropping non-stop music. I can't tell you right now what's my favorite Conway song or Conway album. I've been listening to Jim Jones since back in the day, since Dipset. Jim Jones has been very, very active on the scene right now, dropping music all the time. I like his stuff. But am I getting too much of his stuff? And here's the other thing I want to go into what Jason said. Yes, these guys are putting out a lot of music, and you would think if I put out a lot of stuff, it's going to generate a lot of sales. But here's what we got to think about. Here's what we got to think about. Go look at some of these YouTube videos. I'm going to use YouTube. Go look at some of these YouTube videos. There's some YouTube videos when the video comes out and it's a shock value, or it's something from someone like a Nicki Minaj or that we haven't seen. That first week, that first month, pow, the numbers are there, numbers are there, numbers are there, numbers are there. But then it's nobody talks about Nicki Minaj anymore. So even though they're putting out a lot of music, I would think, yes, the more music you put out, the more sales you're generating. But are people really listening to all that music to generate those sales? Because if I put out 10 projects in 1 year, and the first week, the first month, those 10 projects come out, they do well. And then the next 8-9 months, everybody moved on to the next thing. Does that sell more than the other guy that's selling 2 albums for the last 3 years and everybody's still listening to those 2 albums? So that's the question that I have. Great question, Jason. Great statement. I thought the same thing. But I would love to see the numbers of these artists that are putting out so much music compared to the artists that putting out 1-2 albums every now. So I would love to see those numbers. Jason, thank you for that statement. I thought that as well. Jason got another comment. Jason says, game on Drink Champs drops tonight. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to watch that tomorrow. Thanks for that. On Revolt, YouTube on Saturday. So I'm going to wait till Saturday. I don't really like to watch it on Revolt too much. I like to watch it on Drink Champs channel. I don't know why. So thanks for that. He most likely said that because Kanye kept doing music with him while Dre fell back from his plans. He's bipolar. I've heard that as well from Jason, that the game is slightly bipolar. Same thing with Kanye. But here's the thing. What could Kanye do for you in 2 weeks? Is it his album's not out. The game album didn't come out yet. So is it Kanye did a video with him that's about to come out? Kanye did some songs on his upcoming album. What could Kanye do for Game in 2 weeks? That Dr. Dre's first album put you on the map. That album is a classic. I don't care what nobody said. That's a classic album. What could Kanye do for you in 2 weeks? And the album, Game's album is not even out yet. So I'm looking forward to that. Lil Cat has a comment. Lil Cat, thanks for coming through. Lil Cat says, Dre always gonna side with 50 on the strength of his relationship with M. I kind of agree with that too. Dre, M, and 50, they're pretty tight. Lil Cat is right. They're pretty tight. And I don't think, the way things went down with the Game, I don't think that they're in good terms like they used to be. So Lil Cat could be right. Dre will side with 50 and M because they are pretty cool. Thanks for that comment, Lil Cat. Big Shug got a comment. Big Shug said, I think they are releasing music too early. Release one album, let it get some buzz and radio play, then you come out with a second and third album. I kind of agree with that as well. See, this is the thing that I think, y'all. And again, Jason made a great point. But here's what I think. Just like Big Shug just said, you got an album coming out. Promote the album. Get the buzz for the album. Put the single out for the album. You could put out a second, third single. You know, put a few singles out for the album. Keep getting the buzz. Keep that uphill buzz climbing. By the time the second, third single drops, you can drop merch early. Drop merch early. Sell some sweaters, some t-shirts. Y'all know how you like to sell merch. Sell the merch. Boom, drop the album on us. We got an album, some albums now, 9 tracks, 14 tracks. Give us the album. Let us digest the album. I don't want to listen. These days, listen, there's so much music out these days. If I get an album from you now, I don't want another album in the next few weeks. I don't. I'm going to pull up one of my favorite artists, Styles P. I'm going to go to Styles P. I'm going to go to Styles P on Tidal. Give me a second, y'all. All right, I'm going to go to Styles P albums. All right. So in the last few years, right, Styles P, this year, 2022, he dropped The Wreckage Manor with him and Havoc. Amazing album. I love it. I'm still bumping it. I'm still got that in my rotation. In 2021, Styles P had the Ghosting album, and he had some singles, and he had some mixtapes in 2021. 2020, he dropped the Styles P David Ghost album. He had Presence in 2019. 2019, he also had Generational Excellence. 2019, he also had SB the GOAT. 2018, he had Dime Bag. 2018, he had the album with what's his name, with Dave East. That was a nice album too. So within the last 3 years, Styles P has dropped over six albums. That's a lot of music. And me personally, I still listen to The Wreckage Manor, Ghosting a little bit, and the Styles P and Dave East album I do listen to as well. So I just think it's a lot. Thanks for that comment, Big Shug. Jason got another Jason got another response. And Jason says, Jesus Peace. I just heard about that. The Red album, I love the Red album. The Documentary 2.5, that was a good album too. LAX is close, but yes, Documentary is his best album. I think his first album is his best album. And I listened to a lot of Game stuff, and I have to agree. I think the first album is the best one. Blocker Time got a comment. Blocker said that's not a better album than Doctor's Advocate or the Documentary from the Game. Again, those first 2 albums I do think is what his best albums is. Iman got a comment. Iman said Jesus Peace was a good album. Thanks for that, Iman. And Jason says, the same can be said for 50. What album has he made that's better than Get Rich or Die Trying? None. 50 best album is Get Rich or Die Trying. Everything after that. Listen, I tell people all the time. People jump in my comments talking about 50. I tell people all the time, look, I live here in Jamaica, Queens, all right? All right? Southside is a few steps away. I could jump out my apartment and I'll be in Southside. All right, listen. People don't bump those albums. We don't bump The Massacre. We don't bump. Only thing we bump here in Queens, we bump Get Rich or Die Trying. We bump the Beg for Mercy. We bump the TOS album. All right, we don't bump all those other 50 Cent albums. We pretend like those never happened. All right. Little Cat said I still bump that. Let me jump to the bottom. I see Thunder's Production is in here. Thank you for joining. Thunder's Production. Thunder's Production says Styles P is a rapping machine. Yes, he is. Another comment from Thunder's Production. Doctor's Advocate is my favorite album. Okay, that's the second. That's the second album. Little Cat says 6 albums in 3 years. That's a lot of music to digest. And that's albums. I'm not even talking about the side stuff that Styles P did, or even the mixtape stuff he was selling. So, let's talk about Dame Dash for a second, y'all. Let's switch sides to Dame Dash for a second here. This one's for this one's for Jason. This right here is for my man Jason, y'all. Don't forget, y'all, when y'all get up out of here, don't forget to check out our playlist. Don't forget to check out the Bars of the Titans playlist. If you're looking for random old school classics, check out the Bars of the Titans section. You're going to love everything in there. You're going to love, all right? Don't forget, tomorrow is Freestyle Friday. We coming tomorrow with a new freestyle. Yo, the next month of Freestyle Fridays is crazy. We got some Rockefeller stuff coming. We got some state property stuff coming. We got Shine coming down the line. We got some female. Listen, Freestyle Friday is going to be crazy. Check out the Freestyle Friday playlist as well. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, hit the PayPal link down below to support 16 Bars. I see Rodney Robinson in the building. Rodney Robinson, thank you for that comment. Rodney Robinson says you got to review the new KRS album. Listen, y'all, hold up. Before I go back into Thunder's comment, Rodney Robinson, listen, y'all. KRS-One dropped an album last week. Oh, I got it in my playlist. KRS-One. Let me show you. I know y'all be thinking I'm joking sometimes. KRS-One right there. All right, right there in my playlist. KRS-One dropped the album last week. Listen. Woo, woo. That album is fire. Shout out to the Blastmaster KRS-One. Thank you very much, Rodney Robinson, for reminding me about that. That album is hot. If you want a good album to go listen to, if you listen to that Conway album and you think that was a good album, go listen to the new KRS-One album. All right, let's go into Dame Dash, yo. So Dame Dash did an interview on Shannon Sharp's. If you don't know who Shannon Sharp is an ex-NFL player. He used to play for the Denver Broncos, won a couple championships. He does a show on FS1 with Skip Bayless, First Things First, I think is what it's called. So he also has a YouTube channel. Everybody got a YouTube channel now. So Dame Dash went on Shannon Sharp's and he did an interview. So Shannon Sharp asked Dame Dash, is there going to be a Paid in Full Part 2? Dame Dash responded, yes. Paid in Full 2 is in the works. However, Dame Dash says, no one from the original cast is going to be in the sequel. Here's the other piece. This piece right here is for Jason. Jason probably already heard about this, but this one right here, this is for Jason. He also said, Dame Dash says that he is going to turn Paid in Full into a series. Oh my God. Let me just say this, y'all. Let me just say this. I don't watch Power. Some years ago, I tried to watch Power. I tried to get into it. I tried to check it out, see what it's all about, and I watched maybe almost the first season. The acting was so horrendous. Shout out to Mary J. Blige. Shout out to my man Method Man. Shout out to everybody that is doing their thing with Power, all the spin-offs. But I can't watch Power, y'all. The acting is just not there for me. However, Power has become a very popular TV series, and its spin-offs are also very popular. And Jason has been posting a lot of stuff about 50 Cent might be leaving Stars. He's not leaving Stars. He's just using that to build up to get a new contract. But Dame Dash wanting to make Paid in Full into a series, that is only because of what 50 Cent is doing. Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Dame Dash sees what's going on with Power. See, it's very powerful. It's a black show, has a lot of good black actors in there. It's generating a lot of revenue. Now they're doing a bunch of spin-offs. So Dame Dash is thinking, I'm going to do Paid in Full 2. I'm going to do a Paid in Full series. Stop it, man. Why y'all destroying? Let me know how y'all feel. I'm going to fall back. Let me know how y'all feel. Do you think Dame Dash should do a Paid in Full 2 and not have anybody from the original cast on there? Do you also think Dame Dash should turn Paid in Full into a TV series? Hit the comments, y'all. Let me hear what you guys got to say about this one. I want to hear what you guys say about this one. I'm going to hit the chat for a little bit. Again, thank you, Rodney Robinson, for reminding me about the KRS-One album. Album is fire. We got Spread Love in the building. Spread Love, thanks for coming through. Spread Love got a comment. Spread Love says, when you got people claiming to be the GOAT who don't even come up with their own bars, that's a big problem. Wow. I think that is aimed at the game. Again, I do agree. From listening to the game all over these years, the game thinks he is one of the best rappers in the West Coast, y'all. And he also put out a comment he put out a comment talking about G-Unit, is that I have hit records today, none of them don't. Like the game does think that he is one of the best rappers right now. So again, today we're talking about rappers putting out too much music. Are artists putting out too much music too soon? Here's a list of artists that I think is putting out too much content for my taste. Like I said, I think Conway is putting out a little bit too much music for me to digest. I love Benny the Butcher as an artist. I think Benny is doing the same thing. He's putting out a lot of content too soon. I think he just needs to let it bubble. Snoop Dogg just put out the Back on Death Row album. Excuse me. So I hope not to see too much from Snoop Dogg after this. Let the new artists take Death Row, put some new artists on there. I hope Snoop takes a back seat just a little bit. Again, Jim Jones, I think, is putting out way too much music. Nas as well. If you look at what Nas has been doing for the last few years, Nas has been dropping a lot of content. Let's pull up Nas' name here in title. Let's pull up Nas. And I dare anyone to tell me they're still bumping that Magic album. Any one of y'all. Last 3 years, we got Magic from Nas in 2021. We got the King's Disease Part 2 album in 2021 as well. 2020, we got the Nas King's Disease 1. And 2018, we got the Nas Year album. When did we get the, when was the Lost Tapes 2? Was Lost Tapes 2 2019? I think Lost Tapes 2 was 20. Let me go to Nas Wiki. Hold on. I think that Lost Tapes 2 was 2019, if I'm correct. Let me pull up Nas here. Hold up. All right. So Nas, 2021 Magic, King's Disease 2, 2021, King's Disease 2020, and they don't have it here as well. Okay, so they don't have it in Wikipedia either. But I think the Nas Lost Tapes 2, I think, was 2019. So yeah, I think Nas is putting out a little bit too much as well. Again, I said Styles P. Also, Joel Ortiz. Joel Ortiz just released his album not too long ago. His album came out just a few weeks ago. And now Slaughterhouse, well, part of Slaughterhouse is also dropping the new Slaughterhouse album. So I think Joel Ortiz as well is putting out too much content. But again, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about artists that's putting out albums at this brisk pace? Do you like it? If y'all like what is going on right now with the music, hit the comments. If you don't, hit the comments as well. Again, we're talking about The Game as well today. The Game said that Kanye West has done more for him in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre has done for him his whole career. That is so disrespectful. And we're also talking about Kanye. We're going to get back in some Kanye stuff right now. Let me hit the comments. Let me hit the comment. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments here. Let me go to Jason. Little Cat got a comment. Little Cat says first take was Skip Bayless. That's right. That's the show that he's on. Little Cat also said Dame said everybody too old. You see, this is what I don't like about these guys. Little Cat. This is what I don't like about these guys. Last year, when verses started to pop off, verses started getting popular. Choke No Joke came out and said, verses is played out. Nobody wants to watch verses. Just watch. It's gonna tank. It's gonna be It's gonna be garbage. What happened? Verses straight to the moon. Last year, they asked 50 Cent, hey 50, The Game want to do a verses with you. T.I. want to do a verses with you. You know what 50 said? Verses is old. That's a bunch of old acts on there. I don't want to do a verses. You know what happened to verses numbers? You know what happens to every artist? Every artist that goes on verses, you know what happens to their numbers the next day, the next week, the next month? So this is what I don't like about these guys, Little Cat. He said everybody's too old. All of these old artists is making mad money right now. All of these old artists that they're saying is too old to act, too old. Mary J. Blige is on Power. Method Man has been out since the early 90s. Method Man is on Power. T.I. is on Fast and Furious every now and then. Okay, so all that talk about these guys are too old. Stop it, Dame Dash. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop with the cop out. Thank you for that comment, Little Cat. Jason got a comment. Jason said, they're filming it in my old hood, Newark, New Jersey. I gotta get up there for a cameo. Shout out, man. Yo, try to get your face in there, bro. I would love to be there just to get my foot in the door. All right, shout out to that. Jason also says, plus Murder Inc. doing a BET series about their come up in the music industry. Oh, I didn't know about that one. I would definitely love to see that. I hope Irv Gotti is involved in the Murder Inc. and Chris Gotti. I hope they're involved. I hope Jai is in there, has some input. I hope Ashanti has some input. I hope Charlie Baltimore has some input. So if they're doing the Murder Inc., I hope Black Child, Vita, I hope they all have input, because Murder Inc. is one of those groups that I grew up with. We used to go to the basketball court right over here on Liberty, and all the Murder Inc. guys used to be over there playing ball. Irv, all them guys, Black Child, they used to be here. Cadillac Tar, they used to be in the court playing ball back in the days when Murder Inc. first came up. So I would love to see that. Shout out to Murder Inc. Thunder's production says, what's the point of Paid in Full 2? I think right now, Thunder's is, right now it's all about money. And Paid in Full is a very popular movie. Like, Paid in Full is one of those hood classics. When you talk about Friday, when you talk about Boys in the Hood, when you talk about movies like King of New York and stuff like that. Here in New York, I don't know about the other states, but here in New York City, paid in full is a very big deal. And then you got to also think what's happening right now with Alpo. Alpo being killed. Alpo's name is still in the news right now. People, go look at Vlad. Go look at Vlad. Earls the Christ is doing interviews every other day with Vlad, talking about Alpo. If you go on YouTube, Alpo's name is still big, and Alpo was a very big part of Paid in Full. So right now, Dame is just thinking, let's capitalize on the name Paid in Full. The buzz is still high, so it's kind of a money grab, but the industry is all about money, Thunders. Thanks for that comment. Blocker said Dame should only turn Paid in Full into a series. So Blocker is happy with a Paid in Full TV series. Iman says Snoop been putting out some joints too. Yeah, man. That Back on Death Row, I'm gonna give it a few more spins. I think it's okay. I'm really not too hot on the Back on Death Row album. They got some joints on there I like, but I'm gonna go back into it again. Thanks for that, Iman. Billy Bars is in the building. Billy Bars has a comment. Billy Bars said, I'm still bumping Magic. Okay. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Magic anymore. I think it was me personally, I think it was a bad time to drop it because people were still vibing off of the stuff he put out before. So I just think it was a little too early for the Magic album. And to not promote it as well, I think was a bad idea. But thanks for that comment, Billy Bars. Billy Bars has another comment. He says, literally in my Apple Music right now. All right, shout out Billy Bars, shout out. Big Shug got a comment. Big Shug says, I think it will turn out good if Dame turned Paid in Full into a TV series. Only way to find out is if he tries it. Okay, so Big Shug is down with seeing a Paid in Full TV series as well. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see. Because like I said, the only reason Dame Dash is doing this is because 50 is so successful with Power, and the FX, there's an FX show about Ricky Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross with the young boy. I forgot his name, yo. That's pretty popular too. It's on FX. I forgot the name of the show. Where they show the come up of Freeway Ricky Ross, the drug kingpin. So Big Shug is down. Big Shug want to see the series. Okay, thank you for that, Big Shug. Got another comment from Lil Cat. Wait, I went too far. Sorry, y'all. Hold up. Lil Cat says Nas should have let KD 1 breathe. KD 2 came out too soon, especially after the Grammy win. I thought the same thing too, and I know it was a year apart. Let me look at the timing. Hold on a second. Let me go back to Nas. All right. So King's Disease 1 came out in August of 2021. King's Disease 1 came out August 2021. King's Disease 2 came out August 6th. So 1 whole year. Okay, so 1 whole year Nas released both albums. I thought the same thing as well. When I first heard the first one, I thought the first one was amazing. I thought it was doing well. And then when he released the second one, I was like, oh, okay, Nas, back to back. I do also think that he put that album out just a little bit too quick too. And again, just as what Lil Cat is saying, the Magic album came out. King's Disease 2 was up for a Grammy again this year. So I was thinking, let King's Disease 2 ride out all of the way till the Grammys. After the Grammys, drop the Magic. But then he dropped the Magic, so I felt the same way, Lil Cat. Thanks for that comment. Blocker said, I gave Nas Magic album a listen once. Jason got a comment. Jason says, game hits away from G-Unit, One Blood, wouldn't get far, My Life, Pot of Gold, Paid, RIDA El Chapo. Okay. Let me see. Okay, One Blood. Who did what album was One Blood on? I forgot what album was on. That was a good song though. That beat, blah 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 blah. Listen, the game got hits. I'm not saying the game don't got hits, yo. I'm not saying the game don't got hits. But for you to say that somebody has done more for you. Listen, Dr. Dre was an instrumental part of that first album. That whole Aftermath, 50 Cent, Eminem, that movement they had was big. Alright? And when those songs came out, that first album, man, there were bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers on that album, yo. That first album was crazy. And to get all that buzz, to talk about Dre, listen, I could swear he probably called Dre name in every album he dropped. To talk about Dre all of these years, Dre is always in your mouth. And whatever Kanye did for you in 2 weeks, that overrides all of what Dre did for your career? Nah, bro. Nah, Jason. I gotta see the interview. Drink Champs. I'm watching Saturday. I want to hear the whole conversation, see what he's talking about. Thank you for that, Jason. Billy Bars got another comment. Billy Bars says, hip-hop is the greatest time it's been since the 90s. How can you hate? I'm going to get back to that right now, Billy Bars. Let me read your other comment first. Billy Bars also says, I don't get these older dudes being weird. Okay, Billy Bars, let me get into that. Thanks for that comment, Billy Bars. And I'm going to start off by saying I agree with you on one piece. I agree, Billy Bars, that hip-hop is in the best place it's ever been when it comes to money revenue generation. Okay? I tell people all the time, I came up in the 80s, I started listening to hip-hop heavy in the 80s, going into the 90s. So I've seen hip-hop evolve these last 30, 40 years. And artists back in the 90s especially, I had a lot of my favorite artists in the 90s that weren't getting paid, that weren't making no kind of money. We talk about this every time we talk, we always talk about albums back then coming out for $10, $15 and the artist only getting 7 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents on the album. We talk about this all the time. So yes, I agree with you. Hip-hop is in the best place it's ever been. You look at some of the older artists now, they making money. Albums is selling. They getting, their streams are up. Merch is up. Some of these artists owning their own masters. Some of these tour, Wu-Tang got a tour right now. You go to sports games, you go to basketball games, baseball games. All you hearing is hip hop music. Some of these artists, they got their alcohol. Jay-Z got. Listen, I agree with you, Bars, Billy Bars. Hip hop is in the best place it's ever been when it comes to money and revenue. But the quality of music today is trash compared to the 90s. And I dare you to tell me, if you're a hip-hop head, Billy Bars, if you're a hip-hop head, I dare you to tell me that the quality of music, production, bars, longevity of the music that they're putting out now, I challenge you to tell me that that music was better than the music in the 90s. These albums that they're putting out now, they don't last a month. Some of these albums these artists putting out now, a month from now, you won't even play that album no more. People still talking about Biggie. People still bumping Tupac. People are still bumping the old Nas. Jay's in heavy rotation. Every club you go to. I dare you to tell me that the quality of music today is better than the quality of music from the 90s, early 2000s. Stop it. I'm not hating. This is the thing people have to understand. And I'm still on you, Billy Barr. This is the thing people got to understand. This hip-hop game, it's a seesaw, y'all. This hip-hop game, one side of the seesaw is the artist producing, making their music, putting their music out. The other side of that seesaw is me, the consumer. The artist is not going to get rich. The artist is not going to have these money phones. The artist is not going to be wearing those those ugly hair Balenciagas. The artist is not going to be driving in Maybachs. They're not going to be throwing money in the ocean if we don't buy the music. If we don't go on our platforms and stream the music. None of that these artists is doing goes anywhere without the consumer. We're the ones that stream the music. We're the ones that buy the content. We're the ones that buy the merch. We're the ones that pay $200 to go to a concert. We're the ones that go to watch a listening party from Kanye West. Kanye West had the nerve last done the album to have 3 listening sessions before the album was finished. He charged y'all, he charged y'all hundreds of dollars to go to a listening party to listen to an unfinished album and then put the album out, and the album, all that buzz, and the album sank like a hot potato in the Listen, I dare you to tell me that the quality of music today is better than the quality of music from 1990. How come Biggie Smalls has been gone for over 20-something years? People still got Biggie Smalls in their top 5. Nas has been around since 1992. Nas is in people's top 10s. Tell me why. If the music today is, if we hating so much, why has none of these new artists cracked the top 10? Go look at any top 10 credible. Go look at any credible top 10 right now and tell me if you see any new artists in those top 10s. The music is trash. It doesn't last. There's no longevity. There's no more heart in the music. There's no more sitting, putting together the perfect beat, putting together the perfect verse. All these artists is doing is getting it out. Let's get it out. Let's get the sales. But a month later, 2 months later, which way did it go? Billy Bars, thank you for your comment. I appreciate the comment. Let me hit the bottom of the comments, y'all. We got Damon Jones in the building. Damon Jones says, Conway. Iman said, you need moderators. Listen, Iman, Old Books and Sar has been supposed to be moderating so long, man. They busy. Iman, thanks for the comment. Little Cat got a comment. Little Cat says, today's hip hop ain't it. I'm still bumping Camp Low, LOX, and Mobb Deep. Shout out for that, Little Cat. I'm with you. J Boog said, what's up? Blocker Time says, I'm a hip hop head. All right. J Boogie says, preach. We got Gray 88. Ooh, I like that. Gray 80 with an 8. Gray 88 in the building. Gray 88 got some comments. Let me read this here. Gray 88 says, Nas has a 6-year gap between albums, and Nasir and L22 wasn't reviewed well. Had to put out them 3 albums. In this era, without big hits, people forget albums. I don't know if I agree with the big hits, Gray 88. And let me read that again. Let me read the end of that again. Gray 88 says, in this era, without big hits, people forget albums. Let me just say this. Rhapsody put out an album called Eve. I believe it was 2018. I could be wrong. 2018, 2019. And that album really only had like one big hit on there, the one with the RZA. And I still bump that album religiously. I think what these albums are missing now, me personally, excuse me, there is no soul in the music anymore. Like in the 90s, there was something called artist development, right? If you don't know what artist development is, back in the 90s, most artists used to join record labels, right? So when an artist joins a record label, what the record label will do, the record label will like help them with their craft, help them with working in the studio with their production, developing their vocals, developing how they rap, developing their style, molding them into what type of artist they wanted to be. So in the 90s, artist development was very important for a lot of artists, because some artists would come into a record label and they'll be very rough. But like a record label like a Def Jam will have so many entities working with that artist, they just help that artist turn into that big superstar. All right, so today there's a lot of independent artists. There's a lot of artists that don't work closely with the record label anymore. So I think even with the big hits, I just think that some of these albums that these guys are putting out, it's just not composed right. It's a little too rushed, in my opinion. Great 88, thanks for that comment. Great 88 has another comment. Great 88 there says, that's like saying Lost Tapes came out too soon after Stillmatic. I was happy for Lost Tapes. But again, remember, Stillmatic was, Nas was taking a break. Like, Nas wasn't really doing music when Stillmatic came out. Like, when Jay dropped Takeover, that spurred Nas back up. Like, Nas was chilling. Nas wasn't really doing music like that before he released Stillmatic. Go back and look at Nas's album. Let me pull up Nas albums. Nas wasn't really in the rap game like that right before he listened to Stillmatic. Let me give it to you. So, Stillmatic came out in 2001. Nostradamus came out in 1999. So that's a 3-year gap. So, Stillmatic and Lost Tapes, yeah, I get why that was close. But again, Nas wasn't putting out albums like that after Nostradamus. His baby had born, so he was kind of out of the loop for a while. When Jay dropped Takeover, that kind of lit a flame under Nas, and Nas started by putting out more music like that again. But I do enjoy the first Lost Tapes though. I'm very happy he put that out. Great 88, thank you for that comment. Let me hit some more comments, man. We're on the 1 hour mark. You all know how we do. See what's going on in the chat. Thank everybody for coming through, man. Don't forget. Great 88 has another comment. Great 88 says, KD1 didn't have a lot of verses and people disputed his Grammy win. I love that KD album, that first album. I didn't like 2 as much as 1. I think King's Disease 1 was better than 2. But a lot of people I speak to, they really like the KD 2. Let me read that again. King's Disease 1 didn't have a lot of verses and people disputed his Grammy win. He deserved that Grammy win, by the way. Strike While the Iron's Hot. KD 2 eclipsed KD 1. Again, I'm one of those people, I like 1 better than 2. Shout out for you. Magic came out for the day 1 underground heads. Okay, I see that. I can dig that. I can dig Nas just throwing out something for the fans. I just think, this is what I think. Today's music, right? Like today, and it may be a generational thing. Because today albums can come out anytime. Like, you don't have to go anywhere to buy an album. So you don't have to jump in your car and say, oh, I gotta go drive to the mall and get this album. I'm not gonna go today, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go next week. An album comes out nowadays. It's right here. It's right there. And there are so many artists now. There are so many of our favorite artists, new artists, old school. There is so much artists putting out music and it's so easily accessible. How can someone listen to his favorite artist's album today when on Friday at least 3 albums is dropping on Friday? Last Friday 3 albums dropped. The Friday before that 3 albums dropped. How can you consume all of that music? How long are you going to consume that music before you on to the next? I'm a big Nas fan. I love Nas content. But to get that much Nas, remember, I'm still getting Raekwon. I'm still getting Method Man stuff. I'm still getting J. Cole. Jay is dropping some stuff every now. Snoop Dogg, Styles P is it's too much. I would like to see artists put out one album per year. Let it bubble. Let the people enjoy it. Let it grow on me. And then again, that one artist, I still have another 10, 15 of my favorite artists putting out one album a year. So I still have a nice chunk of albums to listen to. Thank you for that comment. You guys been great today, man. We're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Don't forget, y'all. Don't forget to go check out the Bars of the Titans section in our playlist. Bars of the Titans. Every track in Bars of the Titans is crazy. Tomorrow, Freestyle Friday is coming. You don't want to miss tomorrow's Freestyle. Yo, listen, you don't want to miss the next month. The next month of Freestyle Fridays we got lined up. It's going to be crazy, all right? So look out for Freestyle Fridays. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Share the channel to all your friends. We're close to 10,000 subs, yo. We're almost there. Let me hit a few more comments before we get up out of here. I see Billy Badman. Let me read Billy Barr's comment. Billy Barr says, nah, it has nothing to do with money. Before I even go on, Billy Barrs, nobody puts out anything without want to generate a revenue. So number one, you don't go to work if you're not going to get paid for it. Billy Barrs, you're not going to get up every morning at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, go to work if they're not going to pay you for it. Number one. So whenever people say it's not about money, stop it. You are not getting up out of your bed to go and write music, produce music, listen to the engineer, promote the music. You're not going to do all of that without getting money back. Billy Barrs, I'm going to read your comment. Thanks for that. I'm going to read the comment. Billy Barrs says, nah, it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with hip-hop. Hip-hop is not the greatest because of money, but because of lyrics, in other words, bars. Hip-hop, Billy Barrs, I respect that comment. Listen, Billy Barrs, I respect that comment. But you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you this, Billy Barrs. I'm going to tell you this. Don't believe the words I say. Don't believe the words that I say. Go look at it yourself. Okay, go look at it yourself. You say it's not about the money. You say it's about the culture, right? Go look at these things yourself. Go check out what Kanye West is doing, right? Kanye West, when he released the Donda, before he released the Donda album, Kanye West rented out 3 stadiums. Hold up, Billy Barrs. Kanye West rented out 3 stadiums. He told the fans, you pay for the tickets. The tickets were $200 plus. The tickets to go watch Kanye West's listening session in the stadium, the unfinished album, was $200 plus. Kanye West charged people to go to the stadium to listen to his pre-album. Before Donda 2 came out, Kanye West put out merch. You don't believe me. Don't believe me, Billy Barrs. Go look at it yourself. The sweaters were $400 plus. He had Kanye West socks. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go look it up yourself. He did 3 listening sessions before the album came out, and then he released the album. Why would somebody do a listening session? Listen, when people did listening sessions back in the days, when artists did listening sessions back in the days, they were in a production room somewhere and they had 10, 15 of their friends or industry people in that room, and they did a listening party, and they listened to the album, and then they released the album. That's how listening parties used to go. Now, artists are putting listening parties, and they're charging people to come to their listening parties. Why are they charging people to go to a listening party, Billy Bars? Don't believe me, go check it yourself. Number 2, Donda 2 is coming out now, right? Donda 2 is about to come out now, right? Kanye West did the same thing again. You didn't see it? Go look at the video with him on stage in some stadium with the house on fire, walking around in the water with those ugly boots. You tell me how much those tickets cost. You tell me why the tickets weren't free, Billy Baz. Tell me why it was, hey, free entrance. Y'all come listen to my listening session. Billy Baz, listen. I respect the comment. I respect the comment. But you're absolutely wrong. Most artists today don't care about hip hop. It's all about the bag. It's all about the bag. You look at all these artists now. All these artists now are opening up YouTube shows. Every artist has a YouTube channel now. Fat Joe has a YouTube channel. When Fat Joe does his YouTube channel, what's in the back of Fat Joe? Have you ever watched Fat Joe's YouTube? Tell me what's in the back of Fat Joe's channel. A bottle of Ciroc and Pepsi. Tell me why Pepsi. Tell me why. Billy Bars, tell me why Pepsi is in the back of Fat Joe when he's doing his lives. When Drink Champs is on and Nori has all those alcohol bottles on the table, Billy Bars, you tell me why Noriega has all those bottles on the table. You tell me why your boy Lil Wayne is wearing, everywhere he goes, he's wearing Balenciagas. You tell me why Cardi B is showing off the Vera Wang. Billy Bars, I understand. There are people out there that love hip-hop. I love hip-hop. You sound like you love hip-hop as well. But believe you me, the majority of the artists today are going after the bag. Quality of hip-hop, that's been thrown out the window a long time ago. It's all about the bag today. If it wasn't about money, Billy Baz, if it wasn't about money, 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs wouldn't have asked for $1 million to do a verses. If it wasn't about money, Lil Flip wouldn't ask for $500,000 to come on verses. If it wasn't about money, all of these artists would have done verses for free. Cameron wanted a big bag to do a verses against the Locks. If it wasn't about money, why are these guys not doing this for free? We love hip hop, right? We love hip hop. Billy Bars, stop it. And you sound like you love hip hop like I love hip hop, but listen, let's not be fooled, yo. Everything is for the bag. That term, the bag, I can't stand that term, yo, but it's facts. And you yourself, you are not going to get up every morning and go to work and do a job and not want to get paid for it. You have to be realistic with yourself as well. I understand you may love your job too. You may love what you do, but you're not going to do it without getting paid for it. And why would you do something and not get paid for it and let the man, why would you let the man get paid for streams, revenue, verses, putting your songs in stadiums, putting your songs in music? Why would you let the man put all your stuff and get all that revenue and you don't get no revenue and you making the music? Stop it, man. Listen, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through. We're on the hour 14 mark, man. We're way over time. Billy Baz, I appreciate you coming through today. Gray 88, Damon Jones, Blocker, Jason. I'm going to read 2 more comments before we get up out of here. I'm going to read Billy Bars and Gray's Great 88 comment before we get up out of here. Yo, Billy Bars got a comment, says, LOL, I believe you, brother. I watched it. I understand it. Kanye West, not the GOAT. We talking about Nas and hip hop. Shout out to Nas. I do believe Nas does love hip hop. I do believe that Nas still puts his heart into music. But I also do believe, listen, I do believe that today Nas is in the best situation he could ever been because of hard work. And I want Nas to get all the money he can right now, because Nas is one of those artists that came out in the early 90s, went through those hard years of not getting really paid what they were supposed to get paid, and he's made it all the way here. Nas, guys like Jay-Z, guys like Snoop Dogg, guys like T.I. I love seeing those guys win today, because they were there when you weren't getting that much. And now you look at Nas, Nas has crypto, Nas has restaurants, Nas is working with Hennessy, Nas is doing movies. He did those things on Showtime. So salute to Nas for getting his money. And I do believe Nas is one of those artists that still respects and represents hip-hop. So shout out to Nas. Shout out to that comment, Billy Bars. Gray 88, Nori is retired. Joe is a hip-hop personality that branched out to something else. Every artist does merch drops. Versus is equal to touring. Why not get paid? Why not get paid, man? Listen, y'all. The higher-ups, they are getting a cut out of everything. And they don't write, they don't produce, they don't be in the studio with you. All they do is sign your contract and you give them a portion of your money. If they are getting a cut, the artist should be getting a cut as well. And again, I'm very happy with artists getting their cut. I just think that today, the quality of hip-hop is not where it should be. I'm happy you guys are making money. You guys are selling merch. You guys are doing... Shout out to y'all. But again, there is the consumer. I'm the consumer. You're the consumer. If they're going to get rich off of us buying their stuff, we deserve to get good music too. I'm not going to keep on buying your clothes, going to your concerts, buying your CDs, and your music quality is going down and down and down. I'm not going to stay on board. That just tells me that you're disinterested. That just shows me that you don't care about the consumer. I'm the consumer. I'm spending money to buy your stuff. I'm spending money to get a title, to pay for these subscriptions to listen to your music. At least you can give me some good music in return. I want to say thanks to everybody for coming through. Big Shug, I'm going to end with Big Shug. Big Shug says, great show tonight. Big Shug, appreciate you. Thanks for always coming through. Thanks to everybody for coming through. We're going to see y'all next Thursday night.